Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing my entire collection of Chanel highlighters. It worked out perfect because I have 10 with 2 additional pieces that I'll show you at the end. I've just collected them, I don't use them, but I will show you which ones they are. I wanted to give this video some type of organization, so I did my best to organize them from oldest to newest. I really wanted to create this video so I could do comparison swatches. So if there are 2 highlighters that are sort of similar, I will go back and I'll show you swatches side by side. That way you can really see, do you need to purchase the new highlighters? Do you already have something in your collection that looks very similar? If you can believe it, I remember a time when Chanel didn't have any highlighters in line. They were only seasonal or very special limited edition pieces. There's one in particular that I still think about. It haunts me in my nightmares because I didn't pick it up and I wish I had. It was a beautiful duo that had pearl on one side and a really pretty, almost purpley pink. It was a cool toned pink on the other side. I remember like it was yesterday because we received maybe 5 pieces total, and as soon as that was gone, that was it. Because Chanel didn't have highlighters at the time, and this is when highlighters were starting to gain popularity. We would use eyeshadows on our clients. There were 2 eyeshadows in particular, the square eyeshadows. I'm really taking it back. Fast forward to 2021 and there have been so many incredible highlighter launches, and they do have the illuminating powder in line. You can always find a highlighter from Chanel. I always say it's hard to mess up highlighter. It's always one of the most beautiful pieces in any makeup collection, but what Chanel does better than anybody else, in my opinion, is they create these really beautiful, intricate designs, these detailed, limited pieces that are incredible. I wish I had all of these products untouched so you could see them in their original beauty. Unfortunately, I use all of these highlighters. I've swatched them all, so you can't really see the design anymore. So I'm going to begin with the first highlighter I ever purchased from Chanel. I looked it up. I think this is from 2017. This is the Plisse Lumiere De Chanel. Just a limited edition highlighter that they brought out because it launched before they had the illuminating powders. Now I would say this is basically identical to Ivory Gold. I don't know how this compact hasn't fallen apart on me. Usually when the compacts become a couple years old, they just crack in half. The center looks pretty old. The center looks pretty suspicious. I should probably scrape that center part, but the outside looks okay. I don't really grab this. I don't want to declutter it. I don't want to throw it away because I just didn't use it enough. I'll probably hold on to it. I'm sure it's safe. I don't remember the last time I pulled this out of the drawer. Seems like old news. I mean, 2017, it definitely is old news. Realistically, there's no way I'm going to use this up. I'm still happy to have it. I don't know how much longer I'm going to hold on to it. This is the ideal undertone for light skin tones. Very beautiful. This next highlighter might be the only one on the list that is not limited edition. So this is one of the inline Poudre Lumiere highlighting powders. They didn't start with this shade, but they added it later on. So they have Ivory Gold, Warm Gold, Rose Gold, and then this is number 40, White Opal. I don't remember when I purchased this. I think it was as soon as this launched because I thought it was so beautiful. I just love the idea of an opal highlighter. It has a slightly pink undertone. It's kind of iridescent. Absolutely stunning. So this one doesn't have a gorgeous design embossed on top. It just looks really pretty and it says Chanel. It's very buttery. This is the highlighter that I have on today. There we go. The opal has a little bit more of a creamy finish compared to the Plisse Lumiere. It's less shimmery. It's more of a soft sheen with that pink glow. Very bridal, very spring, ethereal, all of those good things. It almost looks white. It's very intense. Oh yeah. I can see a difference. I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up. This one has more shimmer to it. This one is more of a sheen. This next compact is very special. It has the gold CC logo on the front. This is from the 2018 holiday collection. It's Le Lion de Chanel illuminating powder. Do you guys remember this? So beautiful. It's this very pretty kind of rose gold. It's almost an antique gold, and it had the lion design, which now the face of the lion has since been rubbed off, unfortunately. I'm almost sure you can still purchase one of the lion highlighters. They had 2 red compacts that only launched on the website. They never got sent out to stores. I think they're still available. One of them is still available, but this one was the gold. This was part of the entire collection. So beautiful. I remember when this launched, there was so much buzz and excitement because this is kind of what kicked off the big highlighter frenzy of Chanel. It is so pigmented and creamy. Just completely coated my finger. I don't really grab this that often either. Kind of forget about it. Okay, let's see. Ew. This one is more of a true gold. Slight, very slight pink undertone. I would call that antique gold. It's just a very pretty color. This is going to be better for medium skin tones. If you're really fair, this probably wasn't the best on you. Now, besides the beautiful design embossed on top, what stands out to me most about this particular highlighter is the amount of product inside, because this is limited special holiday collection. You know the drill. So this retailed for $70. It contains 8 grams of product. Let me grab Eclat du Desert. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. This highlighter has 11 grams of product. 0.38 ounces. This is 0.28. 8 grams, 11 grams. I remember when I saw that I was shocked because the lion head juts out from the powder, so I thought it had so much more highlighter than other compacts. But this little ring, this must be pretty shallow because it actually has less product than you would think. It's deceiving. I have 3 highlighters from 2019. The first highlighter to launch that year was the Duo Bronze et Lumiere. This is the bronzer highlighter duo. I still count this. I picked up Claire, the lightest shade, which was not really a bronzer at all, but it did come with half of a highlighter right here. And it's a very pretty highlighter. I can use this as a setting powder highlight, not a bronzer highlight. Not a big deal because I can still use the product. It's just not what I expected. So I consider this to be a bit of a disappointment from Chanel. But this had the really pretty CC embossed on top. It was so beautiful when it was fresh and new. The darker shade had a more gold highlight and a very deep bronze, more of a contour shade. This looks pretty similar to the first one, the Plisse. Yep. Not the same, but pretty close. This actually has a closer finish to the white opal. It's not quite as shimmery. It's more of a soft sheen on the skin. And this is the peachiest undertone so far. Really pretty. I remember loving the highlighter. I was only disappointed with the other half of the duo. The highlight is stunning. This next highlighter is one of my favorites of all time and could be, potentially is, the #1 favorite of my entire Chanel collection. It is just so special. This is the Duo de Camellia. This launched, I believe, Black Friday, but it came in a smaller compact with the silver CC logo in the front, and it's another duo. I don't know what it is about Chanel and their duos. They're always giving us 2. But I'm not going to complain because inside it had this really gorgeous, very intricate design embossed right on the powder. This half has more of a gold undertone and then this half is silver. The difference between the 2 sides is pretty subtle. I don't think you would really notice on the face. So to me it's kind of pointless to separate the 2. I always just rub my brush through both. But the result is stunning. I don't know what you call this. It's almost a champagne gold with just a hint more silver. Let's see. Wow, what a standout. For as light as it is, it's so bright. Usually when a highlighter is really light and pale, you can't really see it on the skin, but this, oh my gosh. This highlighter is blinding. The smallest amount is all you need, but it's just so different for Chanel. Most Chanel makeup leans towards the natural side of things, so this is so unexpected for the brand. I think that's why I love it so much. All of these look beautiful on the skin, but this is a showstopper. They didn't give us enough time to really enjoy Duo de Camellia because then they launched the Eclat Magnétique de Chanel Metal Peach. This is the beautiful button highlighter that they came out with. This was part of the holiday collection. I loved this collection. I love all of the holiday collections, don't get me wrong. The lion was beautiful, the buttons stunning, the chains from last year. I cannot wait to see what they come out with this year. The shade is pretty boring. I mean, we've seen this shade before, but the detail was so ornate. If you don't know the story behind the Chanel button, every season they come out with a new design and it has its own unique mold. At the end of the season, they break the mold so that button can never be recreated ever again. So even the smallest detail, like the button on a jacket or a dress, is a piece of art from Chanel. I love when they bring in the fashion stories with the beauty, everything intertwines. This highlighter doesn't feel quite as creamy as the others. Still looks really pretty though. Let's see. Now this looks very similar to Plisse De Lumiere. Those are the only two that look close though. The rest are all different enough. I have two highlighters from 2020, starting with Eclat du Desert Illuminating Powder. This launched as part of their spring-summer collection, which usually launches really early, January. So this came out right off the back of the holiday highlighter and the Duo de Camellia, and I just remember thinking it was a highlighter free-for-all. It was just too money, a bit overkill, and I remember so many people were wondering, do I need this? I have so many highlighters. Nobody was excited about this, and it's so unfortunate because it was very pretty. I had such low expectations because the previous two highlighters were so pretty. The texture is totally different from any other highlighter here. It's very soft, so you kind of have to be careful whenever you touch it. But it just looks really nice on the skin. It's the perfect fleshy tone, and it has this really pretty kind of sand dune design embossed on top, which you can still basically see. So that tells you how little I use this highlighter. Just too many. 10 highlighters just from Chanel alone, it's a lot. You can see how easy it is to kick up product though. You really have to be very careful. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it. Of course, it just crumbles and falls off my arm. With a brush, it looks really pretty on the skin. I don't think I'm doing a very nice job. The swatch looks a bit chalky. On the face, that's a different story. It almost looks like the Opal highlighter. This is more iridescent and it's a bit softer. But they have that same soft finish. You don't have the shimmer in this highlight. I'm happy I picked it up to add to my collection, but if I was just an average consumer and I wasn't creating beauty reviews, this would have been a skip for me just because there were so many incredible highlighters that launched right before it. Next we have Le Plisse De Chanel Illuminating Blush Powder. This launched as part of the holiday collection last year. And it truly is a hybrid product. It's not really a blush and it's not really a highlighter. It's kind of strange. It's both and yet it's none because you can't really substitute it for one or the other. I think it's a really pretty blush topper, but that's about it. I don't use this as a highlight. I don't use it as a blush. Once again, the chain detail embossed on top is incredible. That's really what makes this so special. It was nice to see them come out with something a bit deeper in tone. As you can see by my arm, there's a slight difference between all of these. I could go through each one and tell you how it's different from the one before it and the one after. But they all still work for a light skin tone. They need some variety here for deeper skin tones. It's so pretty, very creamy. But you can see it's pink and it's luminous. But what do you do with it? I haven't really used this that much. See, that looks to me like a deep highlighter. I wouldn't necessarily use that as a blush by itself. And now we're caught up to present day. These are my two highlighters from 2021. It's crazy, it's only February, but we have two highlighters. So this is the Fleur de Printemps Blush and Highlighter Duo. I am so grateful that we received this piece from the Spring-Summer collection, since we ended up with 3 promotes here in the States for the eyeshadow palettes. And who knows, maybe eventually, maybe later on this year, we'll end up with those eyeshadow palettes. For me, the highlight of spring has been this duo. It is so beautiful. I just love both of these shades. Sometimes in little duos like this, or palettes, face palettes, one color is better than the other. That is not the case here. This blush, perfect. Highlighter, perfect. Together, they're even more perfect. It's just a really nice palette. I love the floral design. So pretty. This is one of the most beautiful pieces they've brought out this year. I think this is one of my favorite pieces of 2021 so far, and will probably be one of the best Chanel pieces. There's something about pink highlighter. It's perfect for spring, summer, and this blush has a little warmth to it. It's kind of a coral peachy pink. It's really nice. Ooh! That's the prettiest highlighter, I think. Well, it's kind of tough. Duo de Camellia still stands out, but if I had to choose a second favorite, if this is number 1, I think this is number 2. It's really nice. I like that you can see the pink. It doesn't have a very slight undertone. You can tell this is a pink highlighter. The other ones kind of blend into your skin. Depending on your skin tone, you may not even see that there is an undertone. I like that about this. Last but not least, we have the Pearl de Lumiere Illuminating Blush Powder. This is really gorgeous as well. It almost makes your cheeks look wet. It doesn't look like powder, it just looks wet, which is a really cool effect. It's very close to the Warm Gold highlighter that is always in line, so if you already own that, you may decide to skip this unless you just love the design. It's very pretty. How does it compare? This is Metal Peach. I've swatched them side by side. I know they're different. It's pretty close to Metal Peach. And if you have Warm Gold, it's close to that too. This is it, my entire highlighter collection from Chanel, all 10 in a row. Here is the Pearl de Lumiere. Here is Metal Peach. Pearl de Lumiere. Metal Peach. They are different, but not by much. I don't think you would really notice on the face. So if you already have Metal Peach, you could go ahead and skip the Pearl de Lumiere. I want to know which highlighter is your favorite. Do you have a favorite that is not here on my arm? If you have another favorite, let me know down below, but if you don't, let me know which one is your favorite here. If I had to choose number 1, I would say Duo de Camellia, just because it's so bright and blinding. Number 2 would be Fleur de Printemps. Number 3... Ooh, that is a tough one. I might go with White Opal. Ooh, I'm not sure. The new one, might be number 3 as well. They're all just so pretty. There's not one highlighter here that I don't love. I have 2 more products here to share, except these are limited. I don't touch them, so I will not be swatching. They're collector's items. They're compacts that are just too pretty to touch, and I just want to save them. So I display them underneath the countertop of my vanity, right underneath the glass. This first one is Infiniment Chanel. Some of you will probably remember this, the illuminating powder. It is so old. I wish there was a date on here. It is just the most beautiful powder. How can you mess that up? I can't do it. I don't have the heart to do it. That, and it is so old. I don't think anybody should put this on their face. And then the second compact, this is a real blast from the past. This is the Cocoa Codes collection. Ooh, and it looks like this one has a teeny tiny little smudge, but that's it. I think this is from 2016, 2017. I don't remember. It's so pretty. So this isn't a true highlighter. You have highlighter here, highlighter, and then bronzer, blush. They're so tiny. Of course, when you swirl your brush, you're just going to pick up a little bit of everything. I loved this entire makeup collection because it was inspired by the color codes of the house. Beige, gold, white, black, and red. This was gifted to me by a friend who works for Chanel, and it's just so special. It's special because it's beautiful, but it's also special because she gifted it to me, and so I never want to touch it. That is my entire collection of Chanel highlighters, so that completes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face, down in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.